She may not have a crystal ball, but Susanne Grieger-Lange's job still involves predicting the future. As a human resources profiler, she has to decide which of two applicants is best suited for a vacancy. Today, she's trying to fill a position on the executive board of a wholesale company. And after looking through all the applications, has narrowed the field to two candidates. One is in his mid-50s, the other 10 years younger. Both have glowing references, so which one will it be?
Of course, we assume that the applications have been polished to the nth degree. They're intended to show the candidate in the best possible light. As they say, the bride scrubs up well. We look between the lines to see what that says about the candidate, what they do and don't do, what's needed and what isn't.
She's looking for things that give the applicants away, what fits with the job and what doesn't. Demand for her services is growing.
During this so-called crisis, we've noticed that the demand for our work has risen considerably, particularly from small and medium-sized firms. That's because errors in recruitment can end up costing 50 to 100,000 euros, and that's a conservative estimate.
Sour grapes can spoil the wine, but before Susanne Grieger-Lange can winnow them out, she has to visit the firm that's commissioned her. Unlike executive headhunters, she doesn't deliver hard facts. Instead, she sharpens fuzzy impressions. The psychologist says that human resources managers often have the right feel for the candidate, but can be blinded by his or her facade. That's the case here. The EK Service Group in Bielefeld supplies some 2,000 retailers with everything but food. They have annual sales of some 2.2 billion euros from furniture, clothing and electronic equipment. The company's human resources director has already interviewed both candidates twice.
Of course, it's extremely important for us to get as much in-depth information as possible ahead of time, because otherwise, in management terms, if we just look at the bare figures and make the wrong decision, it could be terrible.
Has that ever happened?
In that way, thank God, no. But it's an experience I never want to have.
So they've brought in the profiler. She tells the human resources director her impressions. Regarding the first candidate,
he seems to me to be someone who is extremely vigilant, who puts his antenna out in all directions and picks up every last detail.
The other seems charming and clever, but there was something missing.
He claims to be enthusiastic, but that didn't really come across.
So it's back to the profiler, who uses cards with specific characteristics on them, such as authority, to create a psychological diagram of each candidate. She asks, is the younger really more decisive? Is dynamism needed to do this job? What about vanity? Is the man capable of making himself unpopular? She even analyzes the signatures and draws conclusions about their personalities.
He seems to be orientated upwards. All the strokes that lean forward go way up. That means he wants to go further.
A managing executive at a wholesaler's doesn't really need to have a great deal of sensitivity, or very much spontaneity or creativity either. But he does have to be tough and tenacious. The profiler uses these characteristics later in her presentation to the human resources director. The elegant achiever doesn't get the job.
For one thing, this candidate is very self-absorbed. His life revolves around his ego and what he can achieve with his ego and his life. Candidate number 2 is more goal-oriented rather than self-focused. That means he will achieve something in principle, something that's a long way off. But it's also important to him that the job isn't too easy, otherwise he'll get bored.
This is the man that the profiler chose. He's now touring the company with the human resources director on his first day in the job. Suddenly he's responsible for 500 workers and some 300 million euros in turnover. And he never met the profiler. She's already moved on to her next case.